What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. We're talking about BCH at the request of Mr. Mar BV. You wanted a more immediate price prediction for Bitcoin Cash. So, I felt like yesterday I gave a rather immediate kind of prediction. I want to stand by what I said yesterday. I didn't watch my video again, but I feel like I remember saying that I think we're making a move above $300. Right now, I think we're in the midst of that right now, sitting at 228. Now, that doesn't mean that I think we're going to do that tomorrow. I don't think that we're going to do that maybe even by the end of this week, but it's possible we could do it by the end of this month, if not at some point next month. I think that a price anywhere from about $300 to $500 is possible by the end of this year, and here we are sitting at 228 right now. Looking at the overall fib, and I know you said the immediate stuff, but I want to give a heading real quick as to where we are, why we are. From top to bottom here, found resistance at your 382, found support on your 236, and now you're back up at your 382 again. This kind of look is iconic, man. You generally, with something like this, you would see a move that takes you up to your 618, 69 area, which is all the way up right now at 534 to 660. Now I'm saying that would take you up there, but again, if we were to move up at like the rate of this line, that would be by the end of this year, potentially even by the beginning of next year. So I do think that we're going to be up higher by the end of this year, but are we going to be in this zone? Maybe, maybe not. That's just a quick little idea as to why I do think that we're going to go higher, but let's look at the more immediate stuff as per the request. Looking at this, we're holding this purple line very well. I love to see it. We bounced right off the oversold zone, man. We've, let's see, anytime that we've done this before, right, not bouncing above it, but like literally bouncing right off it like we did here, right? Yes, we went a little bit below, but this is different. This is a tip versus we were submerged, right? Like this is a tip. We didn't technically touch it, but that's a tip off the overbought zone where we're submerged here. Here we didn't even touch it, right? So, it is technical analysis, but we can fudge it a little bit. But looking at what we did the last time that we saw anything remotely close to what we're seeing in the RSI right now, well, we had a pretty bullish reaction, didn't we? And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days afterwards. So we had a really big pop. Here we are only about 5 days after this low. So this next week could promote some good price action. I don't think that we're going to see something like this, right? I don't think that that's coming in the coming weeks, but I do think something more significant than we've seen really throughout this range, maybe something like this or bigger on a daily perspective, is coming. It is coming. I really do think it is. And I think we're going to see prices take us again above $300. Maybe we find some turbulence at this relative high at about 327, was it? 329.7. Anywhere from about 305 to 329, somewhere in there we might find some turbulence momentarily, but I do think that we will break above it, get a new high going, and ultimately if we take this high here to low, this fib, look at that, man. Bounced right off the 382, tipped it. 618, rejection, back to your 382. Very, very common maneuver as well. To be fair, you got the rejection on your 618 here, went down to your 382, rejected the 618 again, and came all the way back to your 382. This kind of look, I generally wouldn't expect that you go past your 886. But this is Bitcoin Cash, and we know a little bit of different things. Again, it's the general rule of thumb. It's not always. There are plenty of times where that doesn't happen, and I think this is going to be one of those exceptions, more or less, where we do see the extensions actually hit, even though we've rejected this 618 a couple times. Really what we're doing, if we take the fib out, we're grinding this previous area of support over here as resistance. We're grinding it, previous area of resistance back here as well. When we break above that, we probably go to the highs of this range, which would take us above this, which if we bring that 1272 back, that's like literally right at the highs of this range. So somewhere just under $400 in a very short amount of time. I do think that $400 by the end of this year is possible. Now, $500 I would say is still possible by the end of this year, though I would say less likely. Sometime next year is what I'm more thinking. But spectacular price action nonetheless. We've been held down by this purple line now, guys, since, really since January of 2022. And we're looking like we're resilient against it. We're holding areas near this. We're getting higher lows coming in, man. I think when we break above this, just as we broke below it, here, from, I guess, relative, I don't know let's actually just go straight from the line itself. I have to do it over here because my magnet's on, so I can't actually put it right on that line, so I'm going to go over here. and layer it or like level it out with that line right there. From the purple line to this bottom, we dropped 37%. Now I think that we'd actually see a greater move than 37% based on this line. But a 37% move would take us to 358. Moves down are greater than moves up, if that makes sense. They're stronger. Negative percentages are more significant than positive percentages. Why? You can have a 700% growth. You cannot have a 700% decline, right? You could go from $10 to $1, that's a 90% loss. You go from $1 to 10 cents, that's another 90% loss. So the negatives compound. So what I'm saying is 37% drop from here to there, relatively speaking, or like in that same kind of perspective, I would expect that we see a move greater than 37%. And again, if we take this high to low for our fibs, our 1272 is all the way up there at a 52% gain from roughly where the purple line is. Not even from where the price is. That would be 73%, so even greater than that. But I think in a very short amount of time, all I'm trying to say is that our more immediate areas to look for when this thing is going up is probably above $300 and likely toward that $400 area. What would convince me that we're going to do that? Break above this weekly closing high, and by break it, I don't mean wick it. I mean close above it on a weekly basis. Actually break it, and close above this 304.5 area at the 886 retracement. If you can close above both of those areas, I think it's all said and done up until this 1272 at a minimum, if not the 1618. So very expected areas to come. Very strong looking weekly RSI. The daily RSI looks nice. I think it's just getting started. We kind of are breaking out of this downtrend that we were in, right? I mean, we've broken out of it. So I think we're going to see some bullish follow through. I really do. We're moving sideways right now. We're creeping up a little bit. We're going to see some big candles, you guys. Like on a daily perspective, we're going to see candles that are bigger than anything that we've seen since this. That was the XRP beating the SEC. I'm pretty sure that's what that day was. Since August, since the end of August, we'll probably we could see a 20% or more day for Bitcoin Cash. When this thing likes to move, man, it has no problem doing so. Looking at the 4-hour, very bullish as well. On the RSI, looks really good. Having a hard time getting into this oversold zone. You are tipping it twice. To be fair, you've grinded out this bullish area of control, the 60 level, but this time you rejected it. This time you rejected it here. You are playing with it. You're about to show some strength, some real strength that we haven't seen really since the beginning of the month. So, and overall, you've just been kind of neutral, right? Very neutral. You can see it in the price with a slight down tip. I was talking about this in the Discord, and I think it's a bit unconventional, but I think it still suffices for what they call a 3 bullish drives pattern. And it's on the 4-hour, so it's less significant. But you went to your 1272, 1414 here. From this bottom to this top, that was your extension. We take this next low here, right, to this high, and you went to your 1272, in between your 1272 and your 1414 again. That is 3 drives, 1, 2, 3 drives of moving lower. They call that 3 bullish drives because really what this is it's a reversal pattern that'll take you up at least back to like the top side of this, which would probably be, depending on how you want to take it, the wick up here or over here. But I would think that sometime this week, you guys, maybe by the end of this month, if not by the end of the first week in December, we're going to see prices that are above 240, probably above 240, and probably even higher, man. Like honestly, probably even higher is what I would expect. But who knows? That might not be a 3 bullish drives pattern from top to bottom here. Our 618 is all the way up at 246. 1272 from here is at 287, 312. So I really do think that these are more kind of immediate price targets to look for whenever we're talking about the bullish stuff. But over like the coming week or two, we could expect to see prices up here. It could be tomorrow, man, or it could be Monday or the next day that we start doing that. But I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. I've gone on long enough. All that to say, bullish things are on the horizon for Bitcoin Cash. The Green Dragon literally spoke to me last week over Thanksgiving dinner and told me, "Hey man, I'm gonna show up next week. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna start cooking. So be prepared. Things actually might happen a lot faster than what I'm calling for, right? Even when Bitcoin Cash is weak, it's still week after week had a 17, a 15% move. Like it still can be bullish, right? Let alone when we're at moments of strength where we accumulated for over a year. Very bullish breakout with the strongest reading that we've ever seen on the weekly RSI. literally the strongest reading we've ever seen, with the most volume that we've ever seen. And we checked back in our consolidation. We literally checked back to the absolute tip of this area of accumulation. We literally tipped it. I think we're going to see some phenomenal price moves very soon, you guys. Very, very soon. I could be being too bearish by saying $400 to $500 by the end of the year. Maybe we do move up to like $600 or $700. I don't think we're going to be at like $1,000. I'd be surprised if we broke $800, honestly. But somewhere, you know, at this previous high over here, at these highs, that's like right around $800. So something like that's even possible. But much past that, I'm not really expecting that. But again, from bottom to top here, if we were to get a similar kind of move whenever we break out, which might be here, from like the purple line, right? That could take us all the way. I mean, that's maybe that's a little bit too much. Maybe that's a little bit too. I don't know. We could see something like that. Again, I'm not expecting a move exactly like this to happen. I think it'll take more time. It's not going to be as bullish. This was after over a year's worth of accumulation, and we popped. Where here we're just kind of continuing. So again, I'm rambling. I think I've said enough. All in all, guys, I think the more in the more immediate term, like probably over the coming week, we will be at prices above $240, potentially even above $300. If not, at some point in December, I do think that we're going to see prices well above $300, potentially even above $400. So that's all I got to say. That's really all I got to say. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I appreciate all of you very much. I'm going to go get some rest. Take care. Bye-bye.